Hey, I was planning to do a come to work with me today, and I didn't even get to do an intro before things just got really crazy here at the hospital. So I'm in the ER now. I will explain everything when I get back to the department. It's already 8 o'clock. Okay, Iowa, you're killing me this last week, man. I like ate a bar real quick because my face is like red. So this is the airway roll we use to intubate in the ER, and like I said, it's our job to stock it. So right after we intubate, I immediately try to go and restock the crash cart and get the vent ready, because since I'm the only one here, I just like to get that all restocked quick just in case something crazy happens. Everything's ready. But I'm gonna run to the ER and drop this off, and then I will catch up with you after that. So before we put it in the crash cart, we have to put it in this little bag and then initial here, there you go, initial here the expiration date for the earliest item in here. Does that make sense? I hope it does, but yeah. Probably look real crazy. Hold on. Hello. Welcome to another Come to Work with Me video. It is now Monday, and this is my second to the last week here in Iowa. And the last couple days have been fairly busy. And I say that with how chill everything has been here in Iowa. The last couple days have been definitely picking up, and not like, I do hear that a lot of other places the COVID numbers are going up, but that's not the case here really. It's just been just strange wave of like busyness. So the last couple days, so I usually start my night shift, my 6-day stretch here, Thursday to Tuesday. So even just starting on Thursday, I had this patient that was transferred to the ICU to be put on BiPAP, and he was just deteriorating all throughout the night. He did end up getting tubed the next day when they transferred him out, but that whole night was just, it was just one BiPAP, but it's just been a while since I've had a critical patient like that here, that it did take up a lot of my time that night, and just working with the nurses too. But that was one night that was pretty busy. I don't know what craziness was going on in the air, but yesterday was very busy. Right when I walked in, we had a trauma patient come up. A female patient had fallen down some cement stairs, was found unconscious. We didn't know how long she was down for, so we ended up intubating her. And then just had a lot of technical issues yesterday. So it was one of the newer LTVs that they do keep in the ER. And for some reason, the screen that pops up on the vent wasn't working, which didn't really worry me as long as, you know, the patient was getting ventilated. Like, I could see what she was giving back on the actual vent, but I did hear from another therapist one time that the screen wasn't working and then the vent wasn't working at the same time, but that wasn't the case with me yesterday, thank God. But like, with that not working, I was just like annoyed the whole time. I was just like, man, I'm so spoiled, because now I'm like wanting to see the screen. But like I've said before, I've worked with that LTV vent before where I didn't have the screen. I feel like I'm talking so much about this, but anyway. So yeah, so the vent screen wasn't working, and I was like, as long as she's ventilating, she's sounding fine. I really wasn't worried about it, because we still had to take her to CT and then wait for the transport team to come. And then she was sent out. So I had to bring the vent back here to the department, switch the vent that was in the ER. I tried to troubleshoot and fix the vent screen. I was able to make it work later that evening. I think one of the cords were just loose or something, and Anyway, so that wasn't working. I had just a lot of calls for PRNs last night. I had to do a sleep apnea test on a patient in behavioral health. It was just a lot. And when I say busy, I mean just steady busy for this hospital. So since it has been a while since I've been busy like that, it definitely had me running. And then today, fast forward to today, oh, and then another technical issue I was having were just issues with the EKG machines. It was just, I personally hate doing EKGs because there's just so much room for error because the machines are just not, I feel like they're just not efficient. And I mean, I was never trained really to do EKGs in school. Luckily, I was given the opportunity to do EKGs at my clinical, and then that clinical site became my full-time job in Dallas. And honestly, their EKG machine was the worst. These are way better. But I was just having a lot of issues about transferring it over to the system and just a lot of technical issues. I literally had a list of things for the day shift person of things that were wrong with the system and little things, because I've only been here for I'm only here for 13 weeks. So a lot of the little things that they have with Epic, because as you know, when you go to different hospitals, even if they do have Epic, every hospital has a different version of Epic, Cerner, all of it is different. I mean, they kind of do all the same thing. And I feel like if you're able to navigate through that, like basic, like do vent settings, stuff like that, you're fine. It's just getting the nitty gritty little things, stuff like that, you do have to learn at each facility. And you know, when you start traveling, you see little things will pop up randomly and you just kind of have to go with the flow and like figure it out. So with them, I told them, being the only RT, my main concern is just patient care. As like, as long as I can do what the patient needs, what the doctor needs. Hold on. Respiratory, it's Rachel. What's up? Okay, so that was just another issue I had today, but we'll go back to that. I really don't even know what I was talking about and my battery's dying, so hold on. I really don't know where I left off and my battery is dead on my camera, so moving on. So today I get to work, and right when I walk in, I have a few treatments on the floor. I have a CPAP I need to set up. I have an end-tidal CO2 I need to monitor. And then the ER called saying the patient in room 4, which was here for respiratory distress, was descending to the 40s. And yeah, I was like, I would like to come take a look at that. So I go in there, and she was on a non-rebreather. She was setting about 96. They said it was just like a quick dip, and then she had gone back up, but she just had barely any response. And like, I had just gotten report from the day shift RT, and I was like, is this how she was before? Like, is this her baseline? And she was like, no, she was on like 2 liters before, a little bit more responsive. So when I went in there to assess her, I was listening to her. She was barely moving any air, and just, she did not look good, like at all. So and here it's really nice because the ER docs are really open for suggestion, and they talk to you about like what you think. So I was like, yeah, let's just get a gas. So the nurse was actually training in the ER, and she asked if she could try to do the ABG, because a lot of the nurses here do ABGs. And I was really kind of hesitant at first, because I was like, man, we really need to get this done and get her to CT, because my whole thing was, if she's gonna crash, she's gonna crash quick. And so she went ahead and tried, but then the CT tech got there, and I was like, let me go ahead and just get the gas real quick so we could send her to CT. So I was able to get that gas real quick, and then we took her to CT. And as that's going on, the ER called asking if I could set someone up on a Holter monitor, which I have never ever done. And like I said before, this hospital does a lot of outpatient stuff. The RTs do it. Because at other hospitals, I've noticed there's another department that does all that stuff, or like just another group of people that do that. The RTs don't really do all that stuff. They'll usually do all the inpatient stuff, but that's typically at a larger hospital, right? So I had to set this guy up on a Holter monitor, which I have never done before. I had the girl that was training me show me very briefly how to do it, and really had no idea. I don't even have a login for the computer, but I'm gonna show you guys real quick what it looks like. Okay, so this is like the setup for the Holter monitor. So you actually need this computer when you hook it up to the patient. And it's just one of those things where, you know, if someone's complaining of chest pain, you know, weird things going on like that, it'll monitor them for like 24 to 48 hours. So this is like the little Holter monitor, and you connect the patient to the leads, use these stickers. I mean, that stuff is pretty self-explanatory. My concern was just making sure I connected that to the system so that when he returned it, we had the results in just fine. And since I've never done it before, that was my concern. So, oh, there's my water. I was like, where did I put my water? Okay. So actually that was the patient that called, and thank God that patient was so patient and super friendly. Like I told him, I was like, I have never done this before and I really want to do this the right way, so I'm just kind of taking my time doing it. And they called asking a question about it, which luckily I was able to answer. But yeah, so anyway, as that was going on, right when I finished, they called and said they're planning to intubate that lady that I had seen earlier, which I knew was bound to happen. We intubated, very smooth process, which I love here. And then within the hour, transport team picked her up to send her to the other hospital. So it is 8:20 and I'm just back in the department. Like I said, right after we intubate or anything like that, I like to give the ER a new airway bag, get the vent set up just in case we need to use it again, just so everything is ready to go in the ER if anything were to pop off for some reason. But yeah, I'm gonna snack on this bar real quick and then I will see you guys in a bit. So as I was vlogging that little bit with you guys, I realized I didn't set up the vent in the ER. So I need to do that real quick. So this is their storage where they keep everything here. And the only thing I usually get here is the LTV vent circuit here. And they keep their filters in the department. So I'll grab 2 of those and then head back to the ER. So in the room where they keep their airway rolls, they also keep their filters in here for some reason. I don't know why, but take to the ER. Okay, so this is the vent that I was talking about, how the screen wasn't working yesterday, but it ended up working just fine, like ventilator wise. So I have that all set up, ready to go. And then this was the other LTV vent that we had in the department. So I'm back in the department and I have a few treatments that are for the floors, but it's already 8:30. So what I'm gonna do is take a look at this patient list of the people that need treatments. And if they have another one scheduled tonight, I'm not gonna give them the 7 o'clock. I'm just gonna TNA it because they're gonna get one later tonight. But if it is their only treatment for the rest of the evening, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to them, just give it to them late. But I'm really just gonna check on these patients real quick before I head upstairs. So I was pretty much able to just kind of TNA one treatment. The rest of them I kind of think they do need it. So I'm gonna head up there and give them their treatments. I'm gonna bring this little guy with me as well because one of my treatments requested a CPAP machine. He forgot his at home, so I'm gonna send him up on that as well. Okie dokie. It is about 12:30 and I just left the floor. I had one Q6 that I needed to do. It's a Q6 while awake, but he was sleeping, so not gonna do that. And I went and checked on this patient that was supposed to be on end-tidal CO2, but it is actually a canceled order, so I can cancel that as well. And I went to check the crash cart on the pulmonary floor because I hadn't done that yet. So pretty much have taken care of everything I need to take care of. I'm gonna finish charting a few things and then, yeah. Okay, so it's about 3:30 and I've pretty much just spent the rest of the night. I did a few PRN treatments, set some people up on CPAP. This week has been one of the busiest weeks I've had since I've been here, and like for the size of this hospital, their patient count has definitely gone up, and it's not even with COVID patients, it's just a lot of admits on the floors. So it's 3:30 and I need to restock the airway roll. So I already know what I took out of it, so I'm just gonna go to the storage closet and get what I need to put in there, and I'll show you how they kind of organize all that here. So this is that storage closet I showed you guys earlier, and in this section they kind of have all the stuff we need for the airway roll. So I know I need a ET tube holder, and then oh, here's the ET tubes. We used a 7.5. Can't do this with one hand, hold on. And just to show you guys what it is, this little drawer is where they keep all the blades that we put in the airway roll. This is all the tubes that they have, all the different sizes, some stylets, and the stylets they use here are disposable, except the ones that we have for the Glidescope. In this drawer you have all the ET tube holders, your suction catheters, oral airways. I don't know what this is doing here. It's a CPAP thing. Yonker. In this drawer you have all the little things we need to put in the airway, and from here I need some lube, I think. In there, and then these are just some test lungs. Also need 10 cc syringe. So yeah, someone actually recently just organized this whole area. Before, everything was kind of just, there was really no order, but I mean, it's not very large that it takes a long time to look for everything. So here you have all the vent circuits. Here, HMEs, the LTV vent circuit. This is where all the BiPAP masks are, all the different sizes. We have the nebs for the pentamidine there. And then I think this is like more where all the ped stuff is here. Water, spacers, the protective gel for the BiPAP masks and stuff like that. Inline section, just random stuff here. But yeah, and then all their CPAPs, and then their one little CPT machine. Alright, so I have all that. I just need to get this sheet. So in this other room, they have the little checkoff sheet that we use. They keep it in this folder. I think I showed you this before, but it's just their little checkoff sheet, so we know that everything we need is in the airway roll, and whatever does have an expiration date, we're able to put it on there as well. So I'm just gonna fill that airway roll up and fill this out. This lighting is horrible. It's about 4 a.m. About an hour and a half left in this shift, and tomorrow's my Friday. Tomorrow will be the last day for this week, and then I have one more run here in Iowa, and I do already have an assignment lined up. I think I'll talk about that more later on, but I'm very excited, very happy with my next location. I don't know if I really talked about this, but there was a traveler that was supposed to take my spot. She was supposed to fill my spot. She was gonna be full-time here, full-time nights, and she was actually supposed to start this week, but she ended up backing out of the position. So they did request for me to extend, and I was really on the fence about extending because this is really such a chill assignment, but at the same time it's also kind of a difficult one because I'm out here and there really just isn't much for me to do out here. Honestly, this week has been probably the hardest week I've had since I've been in Iowa. One, it just being a lot busier than it's normally been, and nothing that's like overwhelming, and definitely nothing compared to other hospitals. When you are the only therapist here at night, you don't really have anyone else to rely on or even just communicate with when you're out here. So that's also another thing that's hard about being in Iowa for this assignment. But anyway, so they did ask me to extend, and I was really debating the whole time. And I actually told them I could possibly extend if they were able to negotiate pay. And it took about a week for them to even get back to me, but they did end up increasing the pay for this assignment. But I ended up finding another assignment that was better for me and more pay and definitely a bigger city, and has me feeling really excited about the next couple months. I will definitely talk about that on another video, but yeah, this week has just been really rough for me. I feel like the 6 days are just really starting to get to me, and all the traveling I've been doing is definitely getting me tired too. So I told them that I wouldn't be extending, and I do feel bad because they're good people here that work here, the department. But then again, at the end of the day, it is just a job, and you gotta go where what's best for you. And I definitely listened to just how I was feeling, and I knew it was ready. I knew it was time for me to move on. I definitely got the experience I wanted from being here, just having this nice transition period back into work. And yeah, I feel a lot more confident to go into a bigger hospital again after being off for 2 months. So yeah, I'm just really happy with my time here in Iowa, even though it was all like, yeah, it's been a hard week. And I think a lot of that is just me being exhausted from all the traveling. But yeah, so almost 4 o'clock. I am gonna wait for my relief to come in, and I guess I'll see you guys back at the hotel, or I don't know, we'll see what happens.